Alright, so let's continue. Now in this part, we're going to format the timestamp that we have over here, as well as make this card a bit more readable. Now starting with the timestamp, for which we will be using a third-party library called datefns. Now from this library, we will be making use of a function called format, which is right over here. So this function takes the date as the first argument, and the second argument is the format in which you want the date to be, to convert the date. So firstly, right over here we have the created art. So I'm just going to copy this thing to the clipboard. Let's just go over here and open up the console. Now the good thing is that this site, it allows you to use the functions right from the console. All you have to do is to call the function init. When you do that, you have access to all the functions by using _dot. So in this case, we will be making use of format. Now, as I said, that the first argument expects that the first argument is a date. So right now what we have, it's actually a string value, and in order to convert it to a date, we will be wrapping it, like we're going to create a date instance in such a way. Now that's done. The second argument expects the units, or to say that what format you want this thing to be. So for which we can actually make use of the units, like the entire list that we have over here. So making use of it, we can actually format whatever date. So over here, actually I do know what format we want it to be in. So starting with the date, for which we will be we have to use the dd in lowercase, then the month, which would be M all uppercase, and then the year with 4 times y all lowercase. Then also the time, we want that obviously. So for it we can use H lowercase and M. Wait a second, is not sure what the minute, is it in uppercase or lowercase? Where is it? So it's in lowercase. Okay, and then the AM PM sort of thing, for which we can use A, I guess. Let's just check. Yup, A. Okay, so let's well actually let's all now let's also use let's also have these seconds by using S lowercase and then A for the AM and PM. So now if we save it, that's the way it's gonna be. So now, sorry about that again, dry throat. So now in order to have this thing, let's head back to the editor, and now we first need to install this package, this library. So for that, npm I datefns or npm install, both the same things. Date, are you kidding me? Yep. So after this thing is done, whoa, what's going on? Okay, it has to be in common JS format. Let's Google, and I think that would be it. Now we need to have the function, the format one. So let's do that. Require, first we want this package to be installed, then date-fns format. Now that we have the function, we can make use of it. So instead of kind of writing the entire thing over here and making it messy, let's have it someplace around here. Formatted timestamp, like something like this. So using the format, we first need to pass in the date. So it's going to be new date, and passing in the created art that we have over here coming from the order document. Then the next argument, let's just copy the same thing. You can again pause the video and copy the exact same thing, right? And in case you face some sort of error, then you can actually install this specific version of this library, because it is possible, I have experienced it myself, that sometimes the version change, they lead to some breaking changes in terms of the formats. So yep, just to be on the safe side. Now let's use it right over here, formatted timestamp, and let's actually take it for a spin before we proceed with anything, like before we get to the cart pun. So let's refresh, but I'm not sure. Yep, the order expired. So I guess we have to place a new one. Let's do that. Heading back over here, I'm gonna refetch the entire list. There it is, and here we got the key. So I'm gonna copy the entire thing, get back over here, API confirm order, let's use the ID, let's see, boom, that's done. And now if you take a look, there we have the new entry and the date, the timestamp is formatted, so that is great. So now let's format the cart. Let's do it right over here. I'm gonna name it as formatted cart in a similar way. So now the thing is that cart is an object where the keys are the book names and the value is the quantity. So we have to convert an object into a string. I'm thinking of something like where we have the book names and X into the quantity in such a way with a comma to make it a bit formatted in such a way. So in order to do that, the objective is, again, the best, like personally the way that I work is that when you're trying to figure out a solution for a problem, just see what you want, like what you want the end result to be. So in this case, we have an object and we want it to be a string in the end. So for that, on top of my head, I know we will be making use of reduce, because that's a very powerful method which allows you to do magic. But before we we can even use reduce, we need to have the array. So we will be first using object.keys, and we're going to pass down the cart in such a way which will return back an array of book names. So using the reduce, we will be passing in a function as an argument. In this case, instead of accumulator, let's use previous next, and let's set the initial value to be an empty string. So right over here, we're gonna return back. Now next, that the one that we have over here, this particular one, it's gonna be the book name. So using the backticks, let's use the template literal, and we can do next. So this is the book name, then space X, again space, and then the quantity for which we have the access cart and the next in such a way. And now we can do comma plus comma and a space. So I think this should work. Let's give it a shot. One second. Thankfully I remembered. We also need to kind of have the previous state, obviously, otherwise this is just gonna be the last item. So in order for that, we can do previous plus in such a way. So now if we take it for a spin, let's refresh. I hope it's not expired. It's not, so let's see. Boom, there we have it. So isn't that beautiful? So that is great. We have formatted the time as well as the items in the cart. Now, do you want to remove the last comma that we have? Let's do it. Let's tackle this thing, for which The third argument is actually the index. So we can check one thing right over here, that if if index is equals to one second. So the thing is that we need to have, let's move this thing into a variable in such a way it would be items, or maybe we should name it as items in cart, a bit more descriptive. So if the index of the current book name is items length in such a way but the length is total, so this one should be +1 because it's 0 based, then in that case we wanna, if it's the last, then we don't want to do anything. Otherwise we want to have comma and a space. So let's actually give it a shot. I hope it's not, man, you gotta be kidding me. Seriously, need to increase the expiry date at least while we are developing, or kind of taking the entire thing out. Anyway, so never mind. It's a good thing that because of this our database, like, it's not gonna be polluted because it's gonna kind of clear out itself. So let's fetch the new thing. Let's get over here, copy this boy, and now let's use this ID. So now if we take a look, boom, there we have it. So that is perfect. What's up with this boy? What's with the extra space that we have over here? I hope you can see it. So need to fix that. It's actually because of this thing. So I'm just gonna remove the space again. Let's quickly test it out before I kind of end this video. All right, so that's perfect. So in this part we formatted the timestamp and we also formatted the cart to make it a bit more readable. Now in the next one let's actually see what we need to do. So now we need to work on the Slack, like we need to send a push notification whenever a new order is placed. So let's do that in the next one. Thank you.